My name is Dane, and I'm the International Relations Manager for Nottingham University Business School. Very pleased to be with you today to talk about our master's courses, and then I'll be having some one-on-one sessions later on with hopefully many of you. And I mainly look after the recruitment of international students to the business school, and Thailand happens to be one of our kind of key areas where we get students from to our master's courses. As you can see as well, we're a double accredited business school. The bottom corner there, we're just about to complete our third accreditation with the AACSB. We're already a full member, and the university is very proud to have just been announced as Sports University of the Year by the Times and Sunday Times. Some really good kind of top line accreditations there for the university and for the school. So briefly, a little bit more about Nottingham, or maybe why Nottingham. So we're part of the Russell Group of universities in the UK. This is a group of research-intensive universities. We were one of the founding members. We were also one of the first universities to establish an enterprise zone. So this is where we interact with many, many local businesses. And we also bring that into our teaching. Obviously, that's important for us in the business school. We recently, in the last Teaching Excellence Framework, we achieved the highest standard gold, which is a reflection on the quality, the high quality of our teaching. In terms of the business school, as I mentioned, we're already Amber and Equus accredited, well on our way to our third accreditation, AACSB. We're also ranked in the top 150 by subject, and we're also 6th in the UK for research power. So we talk a lot about research here because that's important, because it's our researchers who teach you. So quite often what you learn is at the very front, the very forefront of your subject. We have research interests, as you'll see later on, in many, many different areas of business and management theory. So we mentioned some of them here. So why choose Nottingham? That's a nice picture of our campus there. We are based at Jubilee campus, which is just next door to the larger University Park campus. And we have our own accommodation there, and it's only about 10 minutes from the city centre. Let's talk a bit more about why choose Nottingham. We've already talked about our worldwide reputation and rankings. I'll talk a little bit more about our reputation around careers and employability, which is also very high. Talked to you already about our research-led teaching. Most of our courses are individually accredited, as you'll see, by kind of industry standard bodies. We've also got a dedicated postgraduate careers team, which I'll talk about a little bit in a moment, who are free for you to use while you're at the university, but actually you can still access them after you graduate. So I was talking to my colleague in the team just recently, and she had actually been helping someone who graduated 10 years ago. So it really is lifelong kind of access to that team from business school. And then some of our research strengths include finance, corporate social responsibility, so CSR, you may have heard of that before, and also entrepreneurship and innovation. We actually have our very own Ingenuity Lab at the Hayden Green Institute for Entrepreneurship and Innovation, and that's free for all students to access as well. I have a lot of strong links with business, as you would imagine. In the business school, we work with local SMEs, so small to medium enterprises, as well as larger kind of global firms. Things we do is that they can come in and talk to our students, and that's giving you all important networking opportunities. But also they can present us with business problems, which our students can use to write about in their dissertation. So you'll get a real life business problem, and then you'll use the theory you have learned in the classroom. You'll use that to tackle and solve the business problem and write an essay about it. We've also got a very, very large worldwide alumni network of many, many thousands of graduates. And we also have, we've just announced, we have very generous master's scholarships again for 2021, which I'll talk about a little bit in a moment. I'll quickly go through these slides. These are our bachelor's courses, and I'm sure you guys are more interested in our master's courses. This slide's quite important. This mentions some of the things that the career service can help with. I've got another slide in a moment about our postgraduate career service. But as you can see, it's helped with what we call your soft skills. So looking at things about writing your CV or resume, and maybe how to write a good resume for the UK market. You may want to stay in the UK. You've probably heard about the new graduate post-study work visa, which essentially gives students or international students 2 years to stay in the UK after graduation to find a job. And this is actually 4 times longer than it used to be. So that's something we're very, very excited about as a university in the UK. And we very much hope it will attract highly talented students to the UK. You also run skills workshops, so this could be things around interview skills. I certainly remember when I first graduated from university, I needed some help with my interview technique, and could be presentation skills. We also do things like psychometric tests to assess you where your skills are, where your strengths are, where your weaknesses are, and how to work on them. So yeah, it's a very, very comprehensive career service from the Central University, and I'll talk a little bit more about our postgraduate career team from business school. Okay, so this is the all-important slide with all of our courses on, which I've accidentally just gone past, sorry. So as you can see, we've got around 20 different master's courses in all of the main business and management areas. So as you can see, we've got specialist courses in accounting and finance. They're traditionally quite popular with Thai students. We've also got very general business and management courses, and it shouldn't matter what you have done for your undergrad degree, because we should have a course for you. So for instance, our MSc Management International Business and the marketing course, they're actually designed for students who have not studied business before. So there could be some of you in the audience who've studied engineering or something like this. These courses are absolutely suitable for you. They're like conversion courses. But equally, if you've done business or commerce, they're very much our courses for you as well, absolutely. So our business and management course, MSc Business and Management, is probably the most general course if you're looking for some sort of masters in the area. But then again, we have some very specialist courses such as human resource management and organisation, risk management. We've also got one of our flagship courses, business analytics. Again, this is very popular with students in South Asia. And this is more or less, it's applied data science for business. So it's got a particular emphasis on marketing, so how the marketing sector uses big data to look at things like consumer behaviour, and also to predict and other sorts of things to do with business. We do like students for that course to have a strong quantitative background, so hopefully you've got a lot of modules where you've done a lot of number work. And again, we can take a look at you on an individual basis to see if you're suitable for that course. But like I say, that's becoming very, very popular. We all know about big data. Big data is in kind of every aspect of our lives. So this is a nice solid course in looking at the application of big data in the business world with a particular emphasis on marketing. We've also got a specialist international tourism management and marketing degree, as well as our operations management courses there. We've got 4 in that suite. And then we've also got another flagship course, entrepreneurship, innovation and management. And again, this is really popular with students from Southeast Asia. So entrepreneurship and innovation, those are kind of skills and knowledge bases that a lot of big companies are looking for nowadays, looking at how we can tackle problems differently. Some students think it's maybe for those who want to start up their own business. Of course it is, or some of you may be helping to run your family business back home. Yeah, absolutely take a look at this course, but equally, like I say, these are skills and knowledge bases that large companies are looking for more and more these days in their workforce. So hopefully you've seen something on this slide that should interest you. And like I say, it doesn't matter what you've done at your UG, your undergrad level, we should have a course to suit you. We also have, if anyone's got any work experience or particularly management experience, we have our full-time MBA course, which again is a 1-year master's starting in September, as all of our courses do. We look for at least 3 to 5 years management experience. So That's all important to remember. It's not work experience, it's typically management experience that we look for. We say 3 to 5 years, but our average is around 8 years of management experience for that course. We have what's called a generalist MBA, which means we look at all different aspects of management and business theory. So you'll look at everything right from financial management right through to marketing management, human resource management, strategic management. We've also got a really nice entrepreneurship module in there as well. So our MBA gives you a nice all-round executive business education. We do have some part-time courses, which tend to be less popular with international students. And we do have a specialist MBA in healthcare, as well as our senior leadership degree apprenticeship as well. So just to touch on our specialist our specialist finance courses, just to point out they have strict application windows. So we've just missed window 2, but don't worry at all. We will be opening again in February. I was reviewing some of our applications just recently, and I'm fairly confident that we will open again in February for all applicants to those courses. This is just because these are our most popular courses, so please don't let this put you off. Like I say, it's just to manage the number of applications we have. And yeah, so we still do have some places left to open again in February for those ones. Also, business analytics, they operate windows as well. So you're still in time for this window, so we close in 9 days on the 30th of November. But again, don't worry if you're still taking time to make some decisions or compare universities. We will open again for the 3rd window in February. Business analytics is a little bit different, so we pool the applicants, so put them all together, and we will offer to the top students in that window. So yeah, it's a little bit different to the other courses, and again, it's just because of the competitive nature of the course. We have a specialist computer lab called the N Lab, which has a maximum of 20 spaces. So that's the only course where we have kind of a cap or a restriction on the number of students. But like I said, don't let that put you off at all. We get many Southeast Asian students on that course every year. So if you've got the right kind of background and the right grades, please do put in an application for that course. A little bit more about individual accreditation. So I've talked about already the kind of the school and the university's accreditations, but these are some of the industry standard bodies who accredit our individual courses. So for instance, the Chartered Financial Analyst Institute, which is quite well known. Chartered Banker, that's doing lots more work in Asia and getting quite well known in places like China. Chartered Institute of Marketing, which you may have heard of already, accredits our courses. And also the Chartered Insurance Institute. So we have a specialist masters in risk management, and with that we have some specialist masters looking at how to use insurance to manage business risk. So some really well-known individual course accreditations there. Touched on this already, a little bit more about our strong links with business. So we do get many guest lectures from people in business, including our graduates. So quite often it's really nice to see that our graduates will come back and talk to us about their successes and where they've gone on to. And it really is an international cohort of students. So last year we had students from around about 56, I think, different countries. And Thailand is certainly in our top 5 for countries where we get students from. So yeah, certainly popular with students from your area. We have a business leaders series, which is an exclusive set of talks from key business people. So this could be the chief marketing officer from a company or the chief operating officer of a company, high-level graduates or high-level contacts we have in industry who will come and talk to our students. And of course, that's an opportunity to network with those companies. So for instance, off the top of my head, we've had the chief marketing officer from budget airline 𝐒𝐳𝐿, which is a large budget airline in Europe. And also many of our academics actually come from industry. So we do have a lot of high-level researchers and professors, but some of our academics actually started their careers in industry. So for instance, the leader of the MBA program Dr. Amrit Judge, he used to work down in the City of London for, I think it was Deloitte. So he brings with him a huge amount of real life knowledge of the business world from a very large famous company, and of course some connections with that as well. And yet mentioned our alumni network, we've got around 12,000 alumni in 110 countries worldwide. So we truly are kind of a global community. And we also have leading research centres. So I also mentioned our Hayden Green Institute for Entrepreneurship and Innovation, but we also have research centres around healthcare research, management, banking, corporate social responsibility, and around our key research areas as well. So a bit more on careers employability. So this is for our postgraduate students. So 87% of our master's students from the business school secured a job within 6 months. That's very, very high and above the university average. It's different for different courses. For instance, our finance courses, that some of those are into the 90s. So one of them, 96% of our students secured work. And the average salary, I think, was around £28,000 per year for our students. The Careers Employability Service also runs something called the Accelerated Career Leaders Programme. Quite self-explanatory, but that looks at giving you essential skills you need to become a future leader, and around your personal and professional development, as I mentioned, through psychometric tests, looking at your strengths and weaknesses and how we can work on those. We have exclusive careers events throughout the year, and of course these have simply just gone virtual, where kind of large employers will come and target our students. So Nottingham is actually in the top 10 in the UK for targeted employment. So this means companies from all over the world will come and actually seek and look for our graduates, because they recognise that Nottingham has such high quality teaching and learning. So basically they recognise that our students have the knowledge and the skills they need to succeed in the world of work. So yeah, top 10 in the UK and top 70 worldwide as well. We have a dedicated, we're very lucky in the business school that we have our own dedicated postgraduate careers team who are very highly trained in various different aspects of career consultancy. And they can give you free guidance and coaching throughout your time at Nottingham. And I highly recommend that you interact with them. So even if you know exactly what you want to do, you might know that you want to be an accountant, you might know you want to work in marketing, please still access career services. They can give you real insights into kind of improving yourself personally. We also set up vacancy alerts, so we alert you to where jobs are, and you can tell us what you're interested in and we can send you tailored alerts. And we also have talks from legal experts. So we had one yesterday where a local law firm come in and talk to our international students and understand the latest regulations on working in the UK. And this is where the all-important post-study work visa comes in. So like I say, previously students had 6 months to stay in the UK to find a job. International students now have 2 years, so 4 times longer to find a job. And I understand that there won't be such strict salary caps. So previously you had to earn a minimum amount of money in your salary to qualify for a job, but I understand they're going to be relaxed. We're just waiting for the government to give us more details, and I'm sure our colleagues at IDP are waiting for those details as well, and we can share those with you when we get them. But basically the UK is saying that we're very much open to highly talented students to go and work here. A little bit about our campus. So that's a nice photograph of my office is just in the background there. And as you can see, it's the background I've got on my screen. The building on the left, that's the Ginogly Library. It's one of 2 libraries we have on the campus. We actually have a specialist business library just for our business students, which is in a building just down the lake. Won awards for our design. We opened in around the year 2000, so it's quite a modern campus. Very modern facilities, very sustainable architecture. So quite a lot of our roofs have grass on them and things like this. So very eco-friendly in natural surroundings. So we've got a big lake there you can see, very nice to walk around in the fresh air. And we're also within the city boundary. So we're no more than 10 minutes on a bus from the city centre. So I actually get a bus to work usually, currently working from home, but it's very, very, very convenient and cheap actually to get around the city. But of course, we've got accommodation for students on the campus or just nearby as well. So you should never be really within more than a 5 or 10 minute walk from the campus if you choose to live nearby. Just to mention as well, we have our international campuses. So occasionally there are opportunities, particularly with our MSc International Business, to study abroad. Obviously, we're looking very closely at those in terms of the pandemic, but you may have the opportunity to study at our China campus in the city of Ningbo, the world's largest port, 2 hours south of Shanghai, as well as Malaysia. So we're just outside Kuala Lumpur there. So you may have the opportunity to study there as well, obviously depending on the pandemic situation and the course you choose. A little bit more about student experience. So already mentioned we're no more than 10 minutes from the city centre. That's our famous town hall, or as we call it in this area of the country, the council house. As you can see, we've also got a tram system running through the city as well. We've got more than 200 societies, including the Business and Management Leadership Society. We also have a Thai society and a Thai boxing society. So there should be plenty for you to get involved with, and any sort of sports you can think of. Any Harry Potter fans, we also have a Quidditch society who play Quidditch. I haven't seen them play, so I don't know how they play, but I do know that we compete against other universities and actually we do quite well in Quidditch, apparently. And students can make use of our brand new £40 million David Ross Sports Village, which has an elite athlete zone. And we also actually have our own indoor climbing wall and large swimming pool. So all the facilities you could need there to take part in sports. A little bit more about student support. So students all have your own personal tutor, as well as your course leaders. We offer peer-to-peer mentoring, so this is where you can partner with other international students through the Global Buddy Scheme, and we'll send you more information on that when you closer at the time for you arriving in Nottingham. We also have a range of welfare services as well, including learning support, so if you maybe struggle a little bit with anything to do with your learning, as well as health services and counselling, so it's really good. And these are all free services usually to access, so we look after our students very well at Nottingham. Quickly go through accommodation, just conscious of the time, we've come up to 1:30. So we guarantee a room in the first year, or for master's students, for international students if you apply before a certain date. That's often really good peace of mind for our international students to know they have a room. And you just have to respond by a certain date, and we'll very soon when we've decided on the date, and respond to your accommodation offer properly. Many different accommodation options, so including university accommodation. So we offer, usually for our postgrad students, it's self-catered. So this is where you'd have your own bedroom. So all of our accommodation, you have your own bedroom. It's not like the American system you see on films where you maybe share a room. You always have your own bedroom, but then you may share a kitchen and bathroom. But we do have accommodation with what we call en-suite bathrooms, so bathrooms attached to your room, and we should have different options depending on your needs and also your budget. So there's lots to choose from on the campus, but also in the city there are actually 2 universities. So Nottingham actually has the largest student population outside of London. So as a consequence, there is lots of accommodation for our students to choose from. As long as you apply early enough, you should have a really good choice of both university and private accommodation to look at. And like I say, the private accommodation is no more than 5-minute walk from Jubilee campus. Some of the facilities you include, so like I say, you always have your own bedroom, or sometimes you will share a kitchen. We do have some family rooms available, so particularly this is relevant for master's students or MBA students who may have a partner and family they may want to bring with them. Absolutely, we've got some options there. And some of the things included in your room, obviously we provide your furniture, and sometimes you will have a small fridge as well, which is quite convenient in your room there. Like I say, yeah, you may share a bathroom or share a kitchen as well. And of course, all of our buildings are equipped with internet access and Wi-Fi for you to study on. And then last thing, we'll just talk a little bit more about student life. So we've got over, as I say, 300 sports, student-run clubs and societies, including more than 70 sports clubs. So you should find something to interest you. We always encourage students, particularly international students, to try and get involved as much as you can, as these are great ways to make friends. So I certainly remember when I studied in Germany as part of my degree, so I studied abroad, I very much tried to get involved in clubs and societies, like I say, to make friends, but also it helps you practice your language as well. So we tend to, as international students, kind of make friends with kind of students who are like us, maybe from the country we're from. But yeah, these are also great ways to practice your English, and you should find anything to interest you, all the way from music, dance, chess, fashion, like I say, even Quidditch as well. Lots of international cultural and faith societies. Like I mentioned, we've got quite a vibrant Thai society of our Thai students, and I think the whole university has over 300 Thai students per year. So again, one of our larger student populations from Thailand. Lots of volunteering opportunities as well. Actually, one of the things you can do is become an international student ambassador. So hopefully, after you receive an offer from us, you'll start interacting with our international ambassadors. And these are current students who talk to guys like you who are maybe thinking about the university or who've maybe just received an offer. They'll talk to you and help you through their experiences and share their experiences with you. So obviously, I was at university maybe about 100 years ago now, so things have changed. So it's really nice to get to know current students who we can match you either with your course or with your home country. And again, that might be nice to chat about things in your home language as well. And lots of faith support too for students. A bit more about sporting life. So we're quite a high performing university in sports, and we've got a large fitness suite and also an elite athlete zone. We came second in the British Universities and College of Sport, and we also compete in intramural. That means between accommodation or halls of residence. We've also got the Tri-Campus Games, where we compete against our China and Malaysia campuses, and also Nottingham Varsity, where we compete against our neighbours at Nottingham Trent University, as well as national. And there's a bit more about our brand new David Ross Sports Village. Again, like I say, climbing wall, swimming pool, squash court, and high performance zone. And then lastly, we just talk about where we are. So this is obviously often the question I get asked the most is, where is Nottingham? So we're right in the middle of England, as you can see. We're about 1.5 hours on the train from London and about 2 hours from Manchester. So it's very, very easy to get to from pretty much anywhere in the world. We're in the area called the East Midlands. So the Midlands, as would suggest, we're in the middle, in the heart of England. Very lucky as well, we're right next to the Peak District National Park, which a lot of students take advantage of to explore, obviously when restrictions allow. And we're right next to Sherwood Forest, which is a real place. So if anyone's heard of Robin Hood, you may have seen the Disney film when you were a kid. Sherwood Forest is a real place. And also Nottingham, we have a Sheriff of Nottingham is a real kind of person. And this year, or recently, we've just had our first woman Sheriff of Nottingham, something we're very proud of. And like I say, very, very easy to get to London. Our nearest international airport is Birmingham, which is only about an hour away. It's the second largest city in the UK, and you can all of the major airlines fly in there. So I usually fly out of Birmingham when I'm travelling on the road. So yeah, very, very easy to get to. Lots to explore, obviously, depending on the kind of lockdown restrictions. We have a lot of historic buildings which you can still enjoy. There are some nice walking tours you can do of the city. Many, many parks and gardens for you to enjoy, including Woollerton Park, which is just next door to us. You may recognise Woollerton Hall, as that was used in the Dark Knight Rises Batman film as Wayne Manor. So any Batman fans, you would recognise that. Lots and lots of world restaurants. We've got some excellent Asian restaurants. We've got, I think, maybe 4 Thai restaurants if anyone's feeling a bit homesick and wanting some Thai cuisine. Some excellent Asian restaurants, shops and bars, sports venues, museum and galleries, and of course cinemas and theatres. So a lot to keep you occupied. And then, yes, I've come to the end of my presentation. We've got some of our social media links there to keep in touch with us from the business school. That's our kind of direct email address, or of course you can email me. I'll put my email address in the chat, and I'm pleased to say as well, we've got my colleague Joanne Tan, who is based in Kuala Lumpur, and she looks after recruitment from Thailand for us. So yeah, you've got plenty of contact points, and of course we've worked for many years with our partners at IDP, so they're very experienced and know a lot about our courses, and again, they can help you with extra things around kind of your visa, etc. as well. So yeah, thank you very much. Cap and cap.
ครับขอบคุณครับ Mr. Dan. It was very nice and very insightful presentation that you provide for our audience here today at the IDP office. So น้องๆครับเป็นยังไงบ้างครับวันนี้ได้ฟังข้อมูลของเรื่อง Nottingham Business School แล้วเนี่ยต้องบอกได้เลยนะว่ามันน่าตื่นเต้นมากเพราะว่า Nottingham เนี่ยอย่างแรกเลยคือเขาเป็นเมืองที่อยู่ตรงใจกลางประเทศอังกฤษใช่ไหมครับนั่นหมายความว่าถ้าเกิดเราจะเดินทางเราจะเรียนหนังสืออยู่ในเมืองที่ไม่ใช่ใหญ่เกินไปหรือว่าเล็กจนเกินไป Nottingham ครับมันเลยเป็นมหาวิทยาลัยหนึ่งที่นักเรียนไทยเลือกที่จะไปเรียนเยอะมากๆอย่างเมื่อกี้ที่คุณเดนเขาพูดขึ้นมาคือมีนักเรียนไทยอยู่ประมาณปีละถึง300คนเลยเหตุผลหลักๆที่นักเรียนไทยเลือกที่จะไปเรียนต่ออังกฤษนะครับอย่างแรกเลยคือใช้เอกสารแค่ง่ายๆครับแค่ผลภาษา IELTS นะครับใช้ transcript นะครับแล้วก็สามารถยื่นใบสมัครกับทาง IDP ได้ซึ่งการเรียนต่อต่างประเทศโดยเฉพาะประเทศอังกฤษเนี่ยปริญญาโทนะครับเรียนต่อแค่ปีเดียวเท่านั้นเองแต่ว่าภายในระยะเวลาที่1ปีเนี่ยก็เต็มไปด้วยความเข้มข้นแล้วก็มหาวิทยาลัย Nottingham ก็เป็นมหาวิทยาลัยที่เรียกว่ามี ranking ที่สูงมากๆที่หนึ่งในประเทศอังกฤษและถ้าเกิดอยู่ใน 𝐶𝐬 ranking ก็อยู่ใน top 100 ด้วยนะครับทีนี้ครับน้องๆคนไหนมีคำถามเนี่ยครับสามารถถามเข้ามาได้เลยนะแล้วเซสชันต่อจากนี้จะเป็นเซสชัน interview one on one นะครับระหว่างที่เราจะเตรียมตัวในการทำ interview session one on one เนี่ยรบกวนของน้องๆทักแชทเข้ามาหน่อยครับว่ามีคำถามอะไรไหมหรือว่าถ้าเกิดน้องต้องการที่จะเข้าไปคุยกับคุณเดนหรือคุณโจแอนนะครับสามารถทักเข้ามาได้เลยจะจัดห้อง session interview one on one ให้นะครับผมระหว่างที่เราจัดห้อง session interview ครับเดี๋ยวพี่แบงค์จะทำเป็น question and answer Q&A ให้นะครับแล้วก็เผื่อน้องๆคนไหนเนี่ยมีความสนใจหรือว่าอยากที่จะได้ข้อมูลเพิ่มเติมของมหาวิทยาลัยUniversity of Nottingham นะครับThen so we are coming now to the Q&A session and I will be the leading person to ask the question on behalf of our audience here today. Okay, we have the first question. What are the documents needed for a PhD program?
For PhD program, so the most important thing would be your research proposal. So this is looking at what you would like to write your PhD on. We've got some very good help and advice on our website on what to include in a research proposal. But yeah, this is the first thing you should look at when looking at an application for a research proposal. So you should also look at the professors in the department you want to study with, and see if they can support your PhD. So there's a little bit more work involved for PhD students. You tend to have to try and find the professors or your potential supervisors yourself. Of course, IDP can try and help you with that, as can me and Joanne. But yeah, your research proposal would be the most important. And then, of course, you would need English language transcripts of any kind of degrees you have. So usually we'd prefer you to have a master's degree with a dissertation element. And also, yeah, you would have 2 letters of recommendation, and also a statement of purpose, so like a personal statement of what you want to do. But like I say, research proposal is the most important for PhD.
Excellent. ครับคุณสรายุทธขอบคุณสำหรับคำถามนะครับก็เดี๋ยวผมจะsummary ให้คร่าวๆนะครับสำหรับการสมัคร PhD ครับอย่างแรกที่พวกเราทุกคนต้องมีเลยคือ research proposal ครับเพราะ research proposal เนี่ยครับเราจะใช้ในการเขียนแล้วก็ยื่นเข้าไปให้potential advisor ของเราในการดูพิจารณา profile นะครับเพราะฉะนั้นอย่างแรกที่เราต้องมีครับคือ research proposal อย่างที่2ที่ทางคุณเดนแนะนำก็คือว่าเราต้องเข้าไปในเว็บไซต์ของมหาวิทยาลัยแล้วก็ดูว่าเรา เรามีอาจารย์ท่านไหนที่อยากที่จะให้เป็นซูเปอร์วิเซอร์เรานะครับเพื่อพอเรามี2ตัวนี้แล้วครับเราก็จะสามารถทำยื่นในการเรื่องทำใบสมัครเรียนต่อที่ประเทศอังกฤษได้นะครับ so Mr. Dan could you recommend us on the IELTS requirements for this PhD
For PhD, yeah, for PhD it is, I think it's 7 with 6.5. You've caught me with the question, I don't know off the top of my head. I'll just check now for you. Or Joanne, do you know off the top of your head for PhD? I think it's 7. I'm just checking for you.
I think yeah, PhD is 7 and 6.5 individual elements.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, 7 with 6.5 in each. 7 with 6 in each element is what we have for the business school. And of course, we offer at Nottingham. We have our own Centre for English Language Education as well. So we offer pre-sessional courses, so you can actually come and study English at Nottingham before you start your course. And we do, of course, accept other English language tests as well. So yeah, quite flexible around what you can do for English.
ครับคะแนน IELTS ที่ต้องใช้ก็คือ 7.0 นะครับโดยที่แบนสกอร์4ตัวนะครับ speaking reading writing แล้วก็ listening ครับไม่ต่ำกว่า 6.5 นะครับซึ่งตรงนี้ครับถ้าเกิดคะแนนเราไม่ถึงสามารถเรียน pre-sessional English ได้ด้วยนะครับนี่คุณสรายุทธครับถ้าเกิดเป็น PhD เนี่ยส่วนใหญ่รายละเอียดนะครับเราจะต้องลงลึกเพิ่มเติมขึ้นมานิดนึงอันนี้ไม่แน่ใจว่าคุณสรายุทธสนใจที่จะคุย interview one on one ต่อกับคุณโจแอนไหมครับเราจะได้ให้ข้อมูลเพิ่มเติมได้ด้วยครับถ้าเกิดสนใจเดี๋ยวพิมพ์ทักเข้ามาได้เลยนะครับเดี๋ยวเราจะทำเป็นห้อง breakout room ให้ครับผมคำถามต่อไปนะครับ we have a second question here from โอเคครับแอดมินครับเดี๋ยวรบกวนสร้าง breakout room ให้คุณสรายุทธคุยกับคุณโจแอนเรื่องการสมัครข้อมูลของ PhD ด้วยนะครับแล้วก็เดี๋ยวให้ counselor team IDP เข้าไปช่วยแนะนำเรื่องการจัดเตรียมเอกสารแล้วก็ให้ข้อมูลเพิ่มเติมด้วยครับขอบคุณมากครับ
ได้ค่ะ
ครับคุณเจนจิรานะครับมีคำถามว่าการสมัครโปรตรีต้องใช้อะไรบ้างคะนะครับคุณน้องเจนจิราไม่ทราบว่าเรียนเป็นชั้นม.ปลายเป็นระบบไทยหรือว่าระบบนานาชาติครับแล้วก็มีผล SAT หรือยัง and then we have a question and this is more of the undergraduate level
yeah
could you go through with us a little bit of the application process for the undergraduate level?
Absolutely. So in the UK, pretty much all universities you would apply through an organisation called UCAS. And again, yeah, IDP will know all about UCAS. So it's different to a master's level application where you would apply directly to the university. Everyone would go through UCAS. You would typically apply to 5 universities. Hopefully you would get an offer back from all 5. And then you would choose your top 2, so your firm choice, your first choice, and your insurance choice. And they will be kind of the 2 universities you would hope to go to. Hopefully, the point is to get into your first choice. If not, you may get into your insurance choice. But even after that, there is still more options available to you. So then there's then a process called clearing, where universities advertise the spaces that they have left, and you may be able to find a kind of a place that way. So yeah, there's quite a lot of options for our undergrad students. Joanne, I don't know if you want to add anything. That was a very, very basic description of the UG process. Have you got anything else to add?
Yeah, so basically for undergraduate, usually like Dane said, the application is through UCAS, and of course other supporting documents will be personal statement, your reference letter, as well as the English qualification. But if you don't have any English qualification at the point of time you apply, no worries, you can always submit your application first. If we are able to accept you academically, you'll be issued a conditional offer. So for undergraduate students, usually we will accept from either A-levels or IB diploma. So any students with like Matayom 6 and all, they will have to go through a year of foundation first.
Excellent. Yes. ก็สำหรับการสมัครต่อปริญญาตรีนะครับเราสามารถถ้าเกิดเราเรียนจากระบบไทยนะ เราอาจจะต้องเรียนbecause this student is from a Thai system so การสมัครครับก็เราก็จะต้องสมัครผ่านเป็นระบบ foundation นะครับซึ่ง foundation เนี่ยเราก็คือจะต้องไปเรียน year 0ก่อนที่ประเทศอังกฤษ1 ปีนะครับแล้วก็จะเรียนต่ออังกฤษก็คือ year 1 year 2 year 3แล้วก็เรียนจบได้นะครับส่วนคะแนนที่ต้องใช้ในการสมัครเป็น foundation นะครับเราก็ต้องการวุฒิม.6 แล้วก็ผลภาษาอังกฤษจะบอกว่าเป็น tip and trick เลยเพราะหลายๆคนต้องเข้าใจว่าต้องมีวุฒิต้องมีผลภาษาอังกฤษก่อนในการสมัครใช่ไหมครับแต่ซึ่งความจริงแล้วเนี่ยเราไม่จำเป็นนะผลภาษาอังกฤษเนี่ยสามารถยื่นตามหลังจากการสมัครแล้วได้ด้วยนะครับบางทีเราจะได้ผลออกมาด้วยว่าเป็น conditional offer หรือว่าเป็น unconditional offer นะครับแล้วเราก็แค่ไปทำตาม fulfillment ใน condition ที่เขากล่าวไว้เท่านั้นเองนะครับผมอันนี้น้องเจนจิราสนใจเรียนเป็นคณะอะไรครับขออนุญาตสอบถามเพิ่มเติมนิดนึงพิมพ์เข้ามาได้นะครับแล้วก็ทางแอดมินครับไม่แน่ใจว่าได้อาศัยเจ้าหน้าที่มหาวิทยาลัยให้คุยกับคุณสรายุทธหรือยังครับ
อันนี้อาศัยคุณโจแอนนะคะเดี๋ยวบอกคุณโจแอนกดจอยได้นะคะ
Joanne
Yeah.
I'll be assigned to you the breakout room
Are we done with the main session here? I thought the interview session will be at 2 o'clock.
I will keep raising Q&A from here but right now we have one student who want to talk to
Maybe we can do the breakout room later for everyone at the same time because there may be some general information that is available for everyone.
For every audience, right?
Okay. Yeah. So we can just follow the flow that you have set earlier. We will break out for the individual breakout rooms later at 2 o'clock.
Okay, so we have 10 more minutes here.
Yeah.
ครับคุณเจนจิราน้องเจนจิราสนใจคณะบริหารธุรกิจใช่ไหมครับโอเคเยี่ยมเลย so Joanne can you tell us a little bit more about your undergraduate course in business and management
Basically, for the undergraduate program, we offer a few programs under the business school. BSc Accountancy, we have Accounting, Finance, and Finance, Accounting, and Management. We also have the Management, International Management, as well as the Industrial Economics program. So basically, for Management program, it's a general business program where we cover things like marketing management, business operations and everything that is related to business. So the difference with the international business management program is that for the international management program, students will spend the second year at our partner university or our sister campuses for the whole year. Whereas for the management program, it will be all 3 years in the UK. In terms of subjects and modules, it will be exactly the same. Just the location that they study for the second year will be different.
Oh, and that is the link that Dane sent to us too?
Yeah.
Yeah, and just to add as well that most of our undergrad courses are now available with a placement year, so where you get some actual work experience with your degree. So I'll put another link in there, a bit more about our placement year.
ครับก็ตอนนี้ของ Nottingham เขามีอีกโปรแกรมหนึ่งที่น่าสนใจมากๆเลยสำหรับนักเรียนที่สนใจเรียนต่อระดับชั้นปริญญาตรีนะครับนั่นคือการเรียนที่เป็น placement year ครับซึ่งการเรียน placement year เนี่ยนั้นหมายความว่าเราเรียนตามปกตินะแต่ว่าจะมีอีก1 ปีครับที่มหาวิทยาลัยเนี่ยจะหาบริษัทให้เราเข้าไปฝึกงานและเข้าไปทำงานจริงๆเพราะฉะนั้นตอนที่น้องไปเรียนแล้วน้องจบออกมาครับน้องจะมีประสบการณ์ทำงานกับบริษัทจริงๆแล้ว CV ของน้องจะดูดีมากแล้วน้องในการที่จะสมัครงานทำงานองค์กรต่างๆที่มีชื่อเสียงโอกาสของน้องก็จะค่อนข้างสูงกว่านักเรียนคนอื่นที่แค่ไปเรียนอย่างเดียวนะครับเรียกว่าเป็นการเพิ่มคุณภาพให้ตัวใบสมัครของตัวน้องเองด้วยJoanne, could you tell us a little bit more about this special opportunities in the placement year session?
Sorry?
Could you tell us a little bit more about this placement year?
Placement year is basically like an internship. So students, if let's say apply for the placement year in the undergraduate program, means that the total duration of the program will be 4 years, 3 years of study and 1 year of placement. So for placement, we will send them out to the companies to complete their internship in simpler terms, where they will have to work and they will gain the experience of the real working society or the industry. Yeah. So during the placement year, of course, the tuition fee will be a partial tuition fee, if I'm not mistaken, Dane, but I'm not too sure how much is the percentage that they pay, but they don't pay the full fee. It will be a partial tuition fee. And once they complete the placement year, only then they will be able to graduate.
That's correct.
So it's embedded into the curriculum, right? This training,
it's part of the undergraduate program. It's one additional year of just placement.
Exactly. And I think it is possible as well if you find a paid placement to do that. Because the placement year is embedded in the curriculum, then it's fine for the student visa. So yes, students may be able to find a paid placement. But again, it gives you really, really good kind of tacit knowledge in a working environment. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And I think the main reason is that students will get to be ahead of the employability competition too.
Exactly. It looks great on your resume to have actually worked as part of your degree. Absolutely.
So I will follow up on that question too. Do you have a lot of Thai students who go for the undergrad level at the University of Nottingham?
Sorry, I was going to say I'm not too familiar. So for the business school, we I don't think we get many Thai students, but for undergrad, there might be. So certainly for masters in the business school, Thailand is one of our top 5 kind of markets. But for undergrad, Joanne, I don't know if Thai students typically tend to be interested in other subjects. I did notice that we get about 300 students from Thailand across the university.
Yeah,
may be interested
so usually students from Thailand, because they study the Mathayom 6 curriculum, so they are not eligible to join the undergraduate program directly. So they have to go for a foundation first. So mainly we get students who studies with us for masters. Yeah, unless students have completed A-level and IB, then yeah, they can join us directly for undergraduate.
Right. A lot of Thai students will be coming from the non-international background. So a lot of them will be going to the foundation year program.
Yeah. So as you know, our foundation is with Kaplan International. So they will have to do 1 year of foundation at the Nottingham International College first before they can join us for undergraduate.
Great. And could you tell us a little bit about the scholarships opportunity?
Absolutely. See, I've just put a link in the chat there, just to talk a little bit more. So we've literally just confirmed our scholarship provision. So I don't know. We are going to send kind of a newsletter to all of our aid partners. So you may not have had this. So this is kind of literally kind of hot off the press news. It's going to be similar to what we've offered in previous years. So basically, if you score highly in your bachelor's, we may be able to consider you for 50% scholarship, so half the fee. So typically for kind of a Thai student, that will be looking at maybe 3.2 GPA and above, or from a Thai university. The good thing about the business school scholarships is that we automatically assess you, so there's no application. So if you receive an offer from us, me and my team, we automatically look at all offer holders to see who's got a high GPA. The students from Thailand tend to apply quite early, which of course is an advantage that we have all of our scholarship funding available. We've already made some offers of scholarships already. So again, like I say, earlier the better for scholarship opportunities. But if you have a really high GPA as well, we also have a limited amount of 75% scholarships as well, so 3/4 of the fee. So that can really go towards helping you fund your studies. And if we've got anyone in the call who did their undergrad at Nottingham, we offer a limited amount of £5,000 scholarships for people who graduate from Nottingham. And that can be any campus. So if you've graduated from the China campus, the Malaysia campus, yeah, you've got a limited amount of the £5,000 scholarships as well.
And that will be deducted from the tuition fees, right?
Deducted from the tuition fees, exactly. So you still cover your cost of living, so your accommodation, etc. But yeah, it starts at 50%, so half the fee. So if you've got a really good GPA, if you're looking at kind of 3.2 and above, yeah, please consider our courses. Yeah, you may be able to get a reduction in your fee, because what we're trying to do is attract very good students from a lot of different countries is basically what we're doing. But yeah, we do a lot of work with in Thailand, because like I say, it's one of our top 5 groups of students, and like I say, you guys are nice and early in the UK cycle, so yeah, you should have a good opportunity. And then Joanne, I don't know, are there any other central scholarships that Thai students can apply for?
For 2021, we are still waiting for the announcement.
That's right.
But for 2020, we did have the ASEAN Master, or we've changed the name. We now call it the Oceania ASEAN Scholarship, which is like a 25% off the tuition fee as well. So if let's say you apply for the Central Scholarship and the Business School Scholarship and you get both, then you can combine. Yeah. But this is mainly just for master's students, not for undergraduate or for PhD, okay? So it's only mainly for PGT taught master's program. So if let's say a student applies for a master's business program, they apply and they have been given a scholarship by the business school, and then they apply for the Oceania ASEAN Masters Scholarship. If they get like 50% from business school scholarship and 25% from the central scholarship, then they can combine it. But if the provider is the same, as in like for example, they qualify for 2 different scholarships under the business school, then they are only entitled to choose one. Am I right, Dane?
Yeah, I think the main rule is as long as the scholarships don't total more than 100% of the fee, obviously, then they can do that. But I get many students each year. In fact, I had one student last year who had 3 scholarships together to make 100% of the fee. So yeah, if you've got a good GPA, I always encourage students to kind of be greedy, apply for everything that you're eligible for. Yeah, so do take a look at that. But like Joanne says, we're just waiting for the details of the central scholarships to be confirmed, and then like I say, yeah, do take a look at those as well.
And 3.2 is really reasonable.
Yeah, we like I say, we've got obviously our kind of database of international qualifications, but yeah, usually kind of that level or above, I would say.
Yeah. 3.2 GPA would be sufficient for application, but I think for scholarships, you get like higher.
Yeah.
But at least the scholarship would be automatic consideration, right?
Yes.
That's correct, yeah.
ครับก็ถ้าเกิดน้องๆคนไหนนะครับมีผลการเรียนที่ค่อนข้างดีนะครับอาจจะแบบประมาณ 3.5 ขึ้นไปที่แบงค์ต้องบอกก่อนว่าโอกาสที่เราจะได้รับทุนเนี่ยมีสูงมากๆเพราะว่าของที่ University of Nottingham อะครับเขาให้ทุนเป็นแบบออโตเมติกนั่นหมายความว่าถ้าเกิดน้องมีผลคะแนนที่ค่อนข้างสูงครับเราจะไม่จำเป็นที่จะต้องไปสมัครขอทุนเพิ่มเติมแล้วเราจะสามารถที่จะได้ทุนที่เป็นออโตเมติกเพื่อที่จะไปลดกับค่าเรียนของน้องได้เลยแล้วมากไปกว่านั้นครับคือน้องๆเนี่ยถ้าเกิดได้ทุนตัวแรกแล้วใช่ไหมแล้วยังไม่พอนะน้องๆสามารถไปสมัครทุนเพิ่มเติมได้อีกนั่นหมายความว่าน้องสามารถเอาทุนตัวแรกมาบวกกับทุนตัวที่2รวมค่ามูลค่ากันนะครับก็น้องก็จะได้ค่าเรียนเนี่ยที่ลดแล้วก็ถูกลงไปอีกอันเนี้ยแล้วแต่เลยแต่ที่สำคัญครับเราได้เห็นแอปพลิเคชัน Windows แล้วว่าของ Nottingham เนี่ยแอปพลิเคชัน Windows มันจบแค่30 November ในรอบ2นี้นะครับเพราะฉะนั้นทุนเนี่ยมันจำกัดมากๆแล้วก็จำกัดในเรื่องของเวลานะไม่ใช่จำกัดเรื่องจำนวนของทุนที่แจกนะครับดังนั้นถ้าเกิดน้องๆคนไหนที่มีเอกสารพร้อมแล้วหรือว่ากำลังเขียน SOP อยากให้ IDP ช่วยในการอ่านในการรีวิวนะครับสามารถส่งมาได้เลยแล้วหรือ IDP เนี่ยสามารถที่จะให้คำแนะนำปรึกษาในการสมัครต่อเรียนต่อที่ The University of Nottingham ได้นะครับมีคำถามนะครับแป๊บนึงนะครับอยากถามว่าเรียน BTC Level 3 Business จะต้องเรียนถึง Level ไหนถึงเข้าได้คะ BTech Level 3 Business อันนี้คือเป็นตัว Level ของอะไรหรอครับเดี๋ยวรบกวนเขียนข้อมูลให้พี่บางเพิ่มเติมนิดนึงได้ไหมครับเป็น Level ภาษาอังกฤษหรอครับOkay, we have a question on the BTech level 3 for business, but I'm asking the individual to clarify what is this specific test is, and I'll get to you on on when I get more information.
Yeah. So as far as I know, Joanne, we do accept BTECs for.
Oh, you do? Okay, great.
Which level is it for undergrad, Joanne? Is it level?
You mean BTEC for postgraduate or for?
Oh, this I'll be talking about. This will be undergrad, so you would need
Yeah.
an undergrad degree for masters,
Usually,
but for our.
Usually we accept BTEC. I think it's either level 3 or 4.
Either level 3 or 4, right? BTEC qualification is from what country? Do you know?
I think it's a UK qualification. It's quite common in the UK. But yeah, I believe it's being offered more and more worldwide. But I'll just check the level for you.
So this person have BTEC 3. Let me type. She says she cannot hear our vocal. Joanne?
Yep.
I think we have one PhD student who is already in the interview room.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Did you see the breakout room?
Yeah, I'll go over to the breakout room now. Dane, you probably need to. Do you have information about the BTEC? If not, I can send it to you when I check in.
Oh, no. Yeah, if you can just send that over. Like I say, I was just having a check.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll just join the breakout room first.
Okay, yes, the student is there already, Joanne. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon.
Thanks, Joanne.
Okay. So BTEC น้องกุลทลีได้ยินไหมครับ
Yeah, these are good questions. They're testing my knowledge.
Yeah, we Okay, so she asked if level 3 she can get entry into the program. Okay, so Joanne say either 3 or 4 is acceptable, right?
Yeah, as long as you've got 3 grades. So for the business school, I think it would be distinction, distinction, distinction. So 3 distinctions you would need for that one. But I think we'd need to check because there's many different subject areas for BTEC. I think we would just need to check that. But what you can do is if you send details of that to the counsellors at IDP, they can get in touch with us and we can check with our admissions team if you've taken the right one. So yeah, it needs to be the level 3 or the level 4 extended diploma. So the one where you have 3 grades. And it's usually, like I say, distinction, 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 or DDD.
3 subjects, right?
Yeah.
I see.
But yeah, if you send details of that over, we can check that.
I'm asking the student right now what subject has she's taken for the level 3, and that means student can go right into the year 1 program.
Yeah, so again, it will depend on the subject taken for BTEC, and also it will depend on the course the student wants to take.
Okay. So it must depend on what subject is taken, right?
Yeah, in fact, we've got a page on our website which I'll copy to you now. Yeah, I used to work in our admissions department, so this is quite familiar to me, but I need just to remind myself.
You are really handy man then.
So yeah, we've got a page there on our website about accessing BTEC entry requirements. Just there.
Okay. Me business environment training in workspace and business resource.
Okay. So I think you would have needed
business environment training in the business place and business resources. These are the 3 subjects.
So you would need to have done the full extended diploma. So if you've only taken those 3 subjects, you might not have enough to qualify for direct entry. but like I say, if you've got a transcript, then you can send that over to us to take a look at. We can advise you from there. But yeah, you would need to have taken more, the full extended diploma for that.
Let me type this down for the students. Moment. Okay, ครับน้องๆhey Joanne, you are back.
Yes.
Okay. So we got one of the students who taking the extended diploma and has
What
taken.
program do they want to study?
I'm asking her right now if she want to do the interview session with you. So give it a few moments. But she took her courses in business environment. First one, second one is training in the workplace, and the third one is business resources.
Yeah, so actually for BTech qualification, right? So generally we will need at least like different programs will have different requirement. So it's at least level 3.
At least level 3. Okay.
Yeah. And most of them will ask for I think D-Star, DD, or DDD or DDM. Yeah, but anyhow, it will still be a case-by-case basis.
Yeah, I think it's probably best in this instance if we take a look at the transcript, and then we can maybe get some more advice from our admissions team to point the student in the right direction.
Exactly. Let me tell her. We got the student email. So yeah, we will ask her for the transcript so that your team can assist us with the evaluation of the program.
Definitely.
So yeah, we also got the link you gave here for us, Dan. Thank you so much. So let me ask you a few questions then when we are still waiting for some students to ask with additional inquiries. So can you tell us a little bit more about what does it mean to be a research-focused university, especially for the business program? What does it mean to the students?
Yeah, so I kind of briefly mentioned it in my presentation. So we talk a lot about our research power. So we're 6th in the UK, and also kind of our research priority areas, because as I mentioned, it's our researchers who teach you. So quite often what you learn is at the very forefront of the subject that you're studying. So many of our academics will do lots of collaboration programs with governments or kind of large research programs. So yeah, you really do get a research-led teaching experience. But equally at the business school, as I said, some of our academics come from industry, so come from the world of business, and you benefit from both types of academics. So you've got the kind of career researchers who have very much got very advanced theoretical knowledge, but also the academics who bring with them a lot of kind of real life examples into our teaching. So yeah, it's important to consider that, and that'll be reflected, kind of our research areas are reflected in the teaching. So if you look at the different modules you can take in a degree, this will be always very similar from business schools, because obviously management theory is very similar. But then if you look particularly at the optional modules, so for instance, we offer modules in things like entrepreneurship and innovation. That's where you will start to see the difference in different business schools. And I always say to students, pick something that you're interested in because you're statistically likely to do very well in that subject. So certainly that's how I chose my university. When I went, I chose the university with the subject I found most interesting to do. So I think that's just good advice for choosing any university, is have a look at the modules that they teach. That will also help you to tell the difference between different courses. So international business management, they will have a lot of similar modules, but it's in usually the optional modules where you'll tell the difference in what you're going to learn from those.
So yeah, I think I can only agree that research is the interesting component for the program. And I remember you were saying PhD requirement for the IELTS score is 7.0.
Yeah, that's right.
And can you tell us a little bit more on the postgraduate levels? And especially now we have a lot of students asking about MBA management program, and especially with the business analytics. What kind of portfolio you are looking for when assessing student profile?
Yeah, so again, it'll depend on the course you're interested in. So for instance, if you're interested in business analytics or you're interested in entrepreneurship, you need to talk about that interest in your statement of purpose. So in your statement of purpose, you'll put things like your interest in the subject, maybe why you chose our university, and also you'll talk about the skills you need to be a good student. So think about things like transferable skills. So for instance, if you play in a sports team and you're a sports captain, that shows you have time management skills, you have commitment skills. If you're the captain of the team, you have leadership skills. These are all things that will make you a good student, all things that we want to hear about. And maybe talk about some literature that you've read, maybe an article or a book on the subject as well, to show you have an interest in that. And that's kind of good advice as well for all of our different subjects. But the most important for us is your undergrad grades for entry onto the course, and your English language test. So for masters, it's 6.5 with 6 in each element. And then for MBA, it's the same as PhD, so it's 7 with 6 in each element for MBA, just because it's a slightly higher professional qualification. But like I say, at the University of Nottingham, we've got our very own Centre for English Language Education, our very own English school, and we offer courses of many different lengths depending on your IELTS score. So you typically would come for 5, 10 or 20 weeks, depending on how far short you are from the IELTS score. But of course, the advantage of that is you actually get to spend extra time in Nottingham. You arrive early and you settle into kind of university life early. So that might be something for you to consider for the English language side of things. But like I say, academically, it's the make sure you've done the right modules for your undergrad course. So for instance, if you're interested in our finance courses, it's very strict. You need to have done quantitative modules, so a lot of number work in your undergrad degree. We publish that on our website, what you need to have done. And equally as well, just be careful that you apply for the right course if you have a business background. So for instance, if you have done business or commerce undergrad, it's not possible to do our MSc management, just because that's one of our conversion courses designed for students who have not studied that before. So yeah, just double check the entry requirements on the website before you put your application in. But like I say, IDP have worked with us for a long time, so they're quite familiar with the different courses.
ครับการเรียนต่อปริญญาโทของประเทศอังกฤษนะครับคือโดยเฉพาะ Business School เนี่ยหลายๆครั้งเนี่ยเราจะต้องมี academic background ที่ถูกต้องมาอย่างเช่นเราจะไปเรียนต่อทางด้าน finance ใช่ไหมครับเราอาจจะต้องเรียนวิชาที่มีพาร์ทที่เป็น quantitative หรือว่าตัวเลข statistic เนี่ยค่อนข้างเยอะหน่อยถึงจะไปเรียนต่อทางด้าน business ทางด้าน finance ได้แต่ว่าบางวิชาก็จะเป็นวิชาที่สามารถเรียนเรียกว่าเป็น conversion program ได้เหมือนกันซึ่ง conversion program อะครับสำหรับเราน้องๆบางคนอาจจะมาจากสายอื่นๆใช่ไหมครับมันมีเจอเยอะมากๆเหมือนกันที่บางคนอาจจะข้ามสายมาหรือว่าเรียนจบไม่ตรงแต่ไปทำงานทางด้านสาย business แล้วอยาก เรียนต่อทางด้านสาย business ทาง Nottingham เขาก็มี conversion program ให้เหมือนกันซึ่งใครที่สนใจเขาสามารถติดต่อ IDP เข้ามาได้แล้ว IDP จะสามารถช่วยในการดำเนินเรื่องแล้วก็ปรึกษาให้ข้อมูลเรื่องการสมัครต่อไปได้นะครับ Some of the question here that I have here still is still on the business program, yeah. And since because we see a lot of changes in the business environment, then like especially when the corona come, a lot of theory we have learned from textbook in past 5 years, 10 years just doesn't work anymore, and we have to do new things, adapt to new idea, and try and test many different things. How has a business school at Nottingham prepare students for the future to come?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, a lot of our researchers have actually been advising on things like this. So one of the areas that's particularly been affected by the pandemic is supply chain. And a lot of our academics have actually been maybe talking in the media or writing articles on this. So in a strange way, the pandemic has actually provided quite a lot of material to study, as in how has the business environment reacted to this. We've also had academics looking at kind of business resilience, so how they're coping with the pandemic, and also looking at how businesses are at risk of closing. So like I say, strangely, this has given our academics a lot to study, as this is a very new phenomenon. Obviously, there have been pandemics in the past, but not on this scale, not worldwide. So we certainly have a lot of material to study. And you might find, like I say, because we are a research university, by the time you arrive next year, September 2021, some of that might actually appear in teaching. In fact, it probably would do. To do that. But yeah, as a university as a whole as well, so not just the business school, we've actually been contributing to research around the virus. So we have a very, very large medical university. So we've got I think the second largest teaching hospital in Europe. So consequently, we've been helping with the effort to look around the vaccine, and also we gave some of our medical equipment to the government to use as well. So we've certainly been very involved in the efforts, not just business, but also the medical side as well, for the pandemic.
It's really strange how COVID actually play a part a lot in academic sense.
Yeah. So yeah, in the news in the UK, quite often academics and professors will appear on the news to give their expert opinion. I don't know if that happens so much in Thailand, but yeah, certainly here in the UK, our academics have been involved. And like I say, they've written many, many articles, particularly around kind of supply chain and also the effect on SMEs, small to medium enterprises. One of our academics has been doing some work with local businesses here in Nottingham, looking at how that's affecting them as well.
พอดีเมื่อกี้พี่แบงค์ก็ถามเขาไปนะครับว่าเนื่องจากว่าที่ผ่านมาเนี่ยโควิดหรือโควิดมันเข้ามามีผลกระทบต่อการใช้ชีวิตแล้วก็ต่อทุกสิ่งทุกอย่างที่เกี่ยวกับโลกของธุรกิจนะครับไม่ว่าจะเป็นพฤติกรรมที่เปลี่ยนแปลงโลกที่เปลี่ยนแปลงเทคโนโลยีใหม่ๆที่เข้ามาพี่แบงค์เลยมีโอกาสถามกับคุณเดนครับว่าการที่มีโควิดเข้ามาเนี่ยทำให้มหาวิทยาลัยเนี่ยได้ปรับเปลี่ยนเรื่องการเรียนการสอนให้มันก้าวล้ำไปข้างหน้าหรือว่ามีการปรับเปลี่ยนการสอนให้เนื้อหาของ academic อะครับตรงไปกับสถานการณ์ยุคปัจจุบันเท่าไหร่นะครับคุณเดนก็ตอบว่าทางของ Nottingham เนี่ยเนื่องจากเป็น Research University ทำให้ทางมหาวิทยาลัยครับมีโอกาสได้ทำงานวิจัยใหม่ๆขึ้นมาเกี่ยวกับเรื่องผลกระทบของโควิดกับเรื่องพวกธุรกิจต่างๆค่อนข้างเยอะมากเลยโดยเฉพาะทางด้าน supply chain นะครับเขาบอกว่าถ้าเกิดน้องๆมีโอกาสได้ไปเรียนต่อกับ Birmingham ภายในปีหน้าเนี่ยบอกได้เลยว่าสิ่งต่างๆที่เขาได้ทำ research แล้วก็งานวิจัยมาครับความรู้ต่างๆเหล่านี้จะปรากฏเข้ามาอยู่ในเนื้อหาการเรียนการสอนด้วยเพราะฉะนั้นเนี่ยการที่เราไปเรียนต่อประเทศอังกฤษตอนนี้อาจจะเป็นเรื่องนึงที่ดีนะเพราะว่าการที่เราได้ไปเรียนแล้วก็ได้ไปเจอกับเนื้อหาที่แบบสดๆใหม่ๆแล้วก็จัดการวิธีการแก้ปัญหาใหม่ๆที่ทางอาจารย์ต่างประเทศเขาคิดค้นวิจัยขึ้นมาครับแล้วก็จะได้เป็นนักเรียนกลุ่มแรกๆที่ได้เข้าไปถึงเนื้อหาเหล่านั้นแล้วก็แน่นอนครับได้สามารถนำความรู้เหล่านั้นเนี่ยออกมาจัดการแล้วก็แก้ไขปัญหาที่สำคัญครับใช้ในการสมัครงานแล้วก็ใช้ในการอาจจะทำงานวิจัยด้านนี้ก็ยังได้เลย นะครับผมส่วนเดี๋ยววันนี้ครับถ้าเกิดมีใครมีคำถามอะไรเพิ่มเติมสามารถถามเข้ามาได้เลยนะครับเรามีเวลาอีกประมาณ5นาทีนะครับ so we have like the last 5 minutes here for the day and I just invite more I just talk to the student more about how being the research university impact on the changes with COVID and how they come to the school on 2021 they might have a chance to jump into the new and up-to-date material content for their studies. I also ask them if they should have any other question they can raise now and then we can help answer. So the last question of the day, Dan, I know it's very early for you in the UK and we appreciate your time here. And like as I said to you earlier, if we have chance to meet, please, I will buy you a big Starbucks coffee, right?
I look forward to that.
Yep. So my last question here is that why should students consider being in the Nottingham? And this is not just the university itself. I know the campus is very modern. It's very beautiful. It's packed with activities that keep students engaging throughout the year. But what is in it that bring people to Nottingham as a city and a place to do their studies?
Yeah, well, certainly in the UK. So you may be able to tell by my accent that I'm not actually from Nottingham originally. So I've lived in Nottingham for 15 years now. I came to university to the city. So Nottingham's quite well known in the UK for being a student city. We've certainly got a very young population. And like I say, we've got one of the largest student populations outside of London. So yeah, it's a really it's a nice city. It's not such a big city as well. So we're not as big as places like Birmingham or Manchester. And I think a lot of students appreciate it slightly more, what we would say, laid back. But because we've got such a large student population, quite a lot of people like me will stay in the city afterwards to work. So most of my friends actually aren't from Nottingham. And I quite like this because it's a really kind of cosmopolitan, it's a really multicultural city to live in. And at the university, I think we've got students from something like 150 different countries, including about 300 students from Thailand as well. So in terms of the city, yeah, it's a really nice laid back city to live, study and work in. But also because we're right in the centre of the country, it's really easy to explore the rest of the UK. So you can get a train down to London in an hour and a half. Manchester is 2 hours away, but also we've got a small local airport, so you can fly up to Edinburgh in Scotland, you can fly to Ireland, you can fly to France. So it's a really nice place as I say, in normal times, it's very easy to get around and explore. And I always encourage students, when they can, of course, to explore the UK, because some of our students haven't even been to Europe before. This will be their first time in Europe. So yeah, it's a nice chance to explore. But yeah, it's a nice kind of young, vibrant city. Although I understand I am not young or vibrant anymore. I was when I was at university. It's a really nice place to live and work. And then in terms of the university, again, it's more around our kind of specialisms and research areas. So we're one of the top 100 universities in the world. So part of the Russell Group as well. So we're a very well-known university, and we have some quite high-level graduates who come from our university, and we teach many different subjects as well. So like I say, we've got a very big business school. We're also well known for engineering, of course, for medicine. We've got one of the largest teaching hospitals in Europe. So yeah, we're a very large university. I think we've got something like 33,500 students at the university, and about 1/3 of those are international. So yeah, a really diverse, vibrant students community. But yeah, like I say, from my personal experience, I'm from quite a small town, and yeah, I've been in Nottingham now for 15 years, so I must like the place, I think, to live there for that long. Yeah.
Yeah, very comfortable small town.
I think sometimes when the town is too big, it just kind of be too empty sometimes. But
yeah, it can feel like that. But yeah, like the local people are really friendly. yeah, it's a nice city to explore. There's lots of museums and things like this to explore. Of course, I'm talking kind of in normal times, but I found we've adapted really quickly to kind of the COVID situation as well. So we did an enormous amount of work over the summer to keep the learning experience as good as we can for the students. So that included allowing students to register and start remotely and then come to the campus when they're able to, because of course some students can't physically travel simply from their home country. So we have done a lot of work around that, and also a lot of the social activities have gone virtual as well. So don't think that next year if you come and that there's some sort of pandemic situation, of course we hope there isn't, you will still have the opportunity to do most of the things I talked about in my presentation, particularly the social side, to get to know friends. You will still have the opportunity to do that, although it will be virtual. And then usually, yeah, the second lockdown hasn't been that strict, so you can still go out and take advantage of the parks and the open spaces and go for a walk. Again, we're very lucky in Nottingham that we've got many different parks near to the university, including the campuses themselves. We have large park campuses that you can look around as well.
Oh, Dan, thank you so much. That was very informative. ก็นอตติงแฮมนะครับเป็นเมืองที่ไม่ได้ใหญ่จนเกินไปอาจจะเป็นเมืองเล็กๆแต่ว่าเรียกว่าเป็นเมืองเล็กๆที่อบอุ่นแล้วกันถ้าเกิดน้องๆคนไหนพอมองภาพที่เป็น college town ออกนะครับก็คือเป็นเมืองที่มี city center อยู่ตรงกลางแล้วก็เป็นเมืองเนี่ยที่ประชากรเนี่ยอยู่ที่ประมาณ 300,000 คนนะครับซึ่งประชากรนักเรียนเนี่ยอยู่ที่ประมาณ 10% ของเมืองแล้วเพราะฉะนั้นเนี่ยเรียกว่าเป็นเมืองนี้เป็นเมืองที่ค่อนข้างใหม่สำหรับคนรุ่นใหม่ๆเป็น young and vibrant and diversify นะครับมีคนมาจากหลากหลายเชื้อชาติจากหลากหลายแบ็คกราวด์นะครับและแน่นอนนอตติงแฮมเป็นเมืองที่ค่อนข้างปลอดภัยมากๆในเชิงของการเดินทางการใช้ชีวิตการเป็นอยู่แน่นอนครับการอยู่ที่เนี่ยแน่นอนคนไทยมีค่อนข้างเยอะเพราะว่าแน่นอนมันไม่ใช่เป็นเมืองที่ใหญ่จนเกินไปมันเป็นเมืองที่เล็กๆน่าอยู่แต่ว่าอบอุ่นนะครับเดี๋ยวสุดท้ายลงท้ายเดี๋ยวพี่แบงค์จะคุยกับคุณโจแอนเพิ่มเติมเกี่ยวกับว่าทางนอตติงแฮมเนี่ยมีมหาวิทยาลัยมีคณะมีอะไรที่น่าสนใจสำหรับนักเรียนไทยเผื่อน้องๆคนไหนสนใจที่จะไปเรียนอะไรเพิ่มเติมนะครับJoanne, one of the last thoughts we want to ask you is what can you tell us about the University of Nottingham in general? What kind of subject range that is available apart from the business program?
We have actually 5 faculty across the university, ranging from arts to science, engineering, medicine, health sciences, social sciences. So we have programs ranging from history, English, music, religious studies to things like computer science, psychology, pharmacy, physiology, physiotherapy, and then engineering. We offer the range of full engineering, architecture, environmental, chemical, mechanical, civil, electrical, and then of course under social sciences, there's apart from the business school, we also have programs in like law, economics, international relations, sociology, and etc. So we have everything, almost everything except things like animation, fashion design, graphic design. We don't have those programs, but more traditional programs, we do offer the full range of them. Yeah.
Yep, at least you have all the important program, and it's fantastic. Yeah, ก็มหาวิทยาลัยออฟนอตติงแฮมนะครับมีทั้งหมด5 department นะครับก็เป็นทั้ง social science, engineering, art แล้วก็ medicine นะครับถ้าเกิดน้องๆคนไหนสนใจที่จะเรียนต่อมหาวิทยาลัย University of Nottingham IDP ก็เป็นตัวแทนโดยตรงในประเทศไทยนะครับซึ่งเราสามารถที่จะคุยติดต่อสื่อสารแล้วก็ให้ข้อมูลน้องๆได้อย่างถูกต้องตามหลักการสมัครเรียนต่อต่างประเทศโดยที่ไม่มีค่าใช้จ่ายใดๆในการให้คำปรึกษานะครับสำหรับวันนี้ครับน้องๆคนไหนสนใจที่จะติดต่อข้อมูลเพิ่มเติมกับ IDP สามารถทักเข้ามาทาง LINE ทางแชทหรือว่าทางโซเชียลมีเดียได้นะครับยังไงวันนี้ IDP ต้องขอบคุณเซสชั่นสำหรับวันนี้มากๆ Thank you Dan so much for joining us today from the UK and Joanne too from joining us from the Malaysia. We appreciate you being here with us today. We will send over to you the record session and I hope to see you soon when we can travel around the region again.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah,
definitely.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much.
ครับขอบคุณครับ บ๊ายบาย สวัสดีครับทุกท่าน สวัสดีครับ